Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I have something a little bit different. This is another review of a Lovevery play kit. We're starting with the Looker for weeks 0 to 12, but I'm actually coming to you with this review a year later. So Lincoln is now 15 months old, and we have owned this play kit for a year, and we have definitely put it through its paces. So now I feel like I can really give you my honest opinion of whether this play kit has been worth buying. Is the first in the Lovevery play kit series, and this is the Looker, and this is for 0 to 12 weeks. Now they go by adjusted age or corrected age. So Lincoln is over 3 months now. He's about 13 weeks, but because he was born nearly 6 weeks early, developmentally he's about 7 or 8 weeks old. So as usual, you've got your tagline designed by experts for your baby's developing brain. And you've got your roadmap of the items that are included, which is the timeline. This is the Looker. So obviously your baby at this stage is largely passive and a passive learner, just starting to engage with the world around them. And the items that they are going to be most attracted to are those with a high contrast. So black and white, really bold patterns that increase in complexity. So you start with this one with the mobile, the simple black and white card set, the sensory links, the standing card holder, the wooden book, the silicone rattle with removable ball, complex black and white card set, and the black and white mittens. Now I really hesitated about purchasing this kit because I thought that in terms of value for money, it probably wasn't quite as up there as a lot of the other kits because a lot of the items are things like cardboard cards. However, when I considered the fact that they really have tracked out some different levels of this. I mean, I have a set of black and white contrast cards that have been a big hit with Lincoln and my previous baby. But I like the fact that this is planned out. I like the fact that you've got portable options, you've got a card holder, you've got the mittens, you've got just things that are really thought out and you can engage with in different parts of your home, out and about for travel, more than just our other cards. And after use by 2 of my babies and my nephew, my cards are starting to look a little beat up, so some new ones wouldn't hurt. That said, it is quite expensive. I'm not totally convinced on the value for money for this first kit. It is also worth mentioning that a lot of these items are meant to engage with the play gym, but you don't have to have the play gym. So the kit and the play gym can exist entirely independently and are sold independently, but you definitely get a bit of a bonus because some of these kit items can be put onto the play gym as a way to expand that further. And again, I'm a really big fan of that versatility. And I like a kit, I like a set, I like things to match. Bit of a sucker for that. All right, so let's go through these items in a little bit more detail. Okay, this is wood. All right, when I looked at the picture of this mobile, I was like, oh, that's, it's paper. It just doesn't really look all that exciting. But it's actually wood. And it's double-sided because, as always, they are doing things really beautifully. I know I sound like this is sponsored. It's not sponsored. I just like their stuff and I'm so excited that they're selling in Australia now. So you're starting with your black and white. It's not actually white, it's just the pine color of the wood contrast. And this is, the suggested use for this mobile is to hang it above a change table. So I'm gonna see what I can do with that. The current change table that we use downstairs has got a bar across the top because it's in the laundry, but the one upstairs has not. So I might see if we can do like a sticky hook on the roof or something. To really make the nappy change a little bit more engaging. On the other side, you've got this really cute spotty rainbow pattern. Obviously, when your baby is starting to move beyond the interest in black and white, having something to hang over your change table is still a good idea because you get to that lovely stage where they want to do a crocodile death roll away from you when you're attempting to change their nappy. Black and white card set. This is the simple set. So these are fairly basic patterns. I think some of these are actually the same as the ones that come with the play gym or very similar. And on the back are the complex patterns. I'm assuming that there isn't a separate set there, all part of the same thing. Yep. Yeah, so you've got simple patterns on one side, your half moons, your stripes, your different spots. Some are black on white, some are white on black. Checks, clouds, circles, and then on the back you've got much more complex patterns that are going to engage the brain in trying to identify the details as your child gets a little bit older. I'm going to show you the card holder. So I thought this was brilliant. when you are attempting to use black and white cards, especially if they are, you know, they are just made of cardboard. So they can get a little bit tatty and ratty and bent and wet and spat on and drooled on and milk spilt on them, and you know, so on and so forth, especially if you do have other children romping around like I do. So this is in the signature Lovevery colors. It's beautiful cotton. It's got 4 pockets to put a variety of cards in, and then on the back you've got what I assume is a storage pocket for the rest of your cards, which again is really, really smart. The cards that I have are from Two Ducklings. I love them, but the cardboard packaging they came in is really flimsy. So this can stand up on its own. It has a bit of a rigid frame, so you can put it in front of Bub. You can also use this in the car. I think originally the older version of this kit did have a car holder, but I can see that this would be quite easy to tuck in front of the car seat for a bit of distraction while driving, especially if you have one that really doesn't enjoy being in the car. Okay, so this is not listed in the kit, and this does not look like the children. Oh, okay, so this is a gift for the parent or the caretaker. The days are long, but the years are short. Never was a true word spoken. I like that. It's just a really nice chunky china mug. Signature colors, just obviously a little gift when you start your subscription, which is really, really sweet. And I love that they don't mention that or try and include that for some of the value that you're supposed to be getting. It's just something that they have done. So yeah, bonus points for that. The sensory links. So you can get those plastic pram loops. I remember my mum had them for some of my younger siblings, and you can just put them together. These are similar, but they are a little bit more complex. Is that another one? So you've got your silicone S-hooks and other clips. They are soft and bendy, and I would assume they are chewable. And you've got loops that you can use to connect them, but those are Velcro as well, so you can use them without the loops. You can just tape them onto whatever hangers you've got. Now these specifically do mention that they can be used with the play gym, and in a little bit I'll have a bit of a go with doing that. But I would also instinctively go and put these on my pram. But then within that you've got something like this one, which is solidly attached to the side and turns this into a rattle when you go ahead and take it off the end, and that's got a shaker in it. So again, a lot of versatility. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. And then this one on the end has some little crinkly stuff. When we were little, my siblings and I had a toy we called Crinkly Elephant, because he had this sort of stuff in his ears, and I remember him being a hit with every kid in my family. I don't know what happened to him. Next up we have the wooden book. Again, this is another use of the black and white contrast, which makes me wonder, you know, do we have too many variations on the theme here? But again, something great to take out and about in your nappy bag. And because it is wooden, it is going to be very durable and great to sort of prop up in front of Bub on a table at somebody else's house, somewhere where you don't have access to your normal setup, but you do want something that they can engage with. Then you have got the silicone rattle. So again, another black and white item, and this comes with this little cloth ball. It does have a tag, like quite a big tag on it, that I think I will probably cut off, and that actually pushes into the middle of this rattle. So I'm gonna have to be careful that Freddie does not find this, because he's currently in a obsessive ball throwing phase, and we would never see this again. It's very, very light. It's clearly chewable. It's got ridges on one end and bumps on the other, so some different sensations for mouthing. It is going to be probably very easy to grasp, and again, something else that can easily hook onto the play gym. I might just go ahead and swap this out with the batting bell. I think that's what that's called. Yeah, I love the Velcro. It's very easy to do. All right, the last play item are the mittens. Okay, so those are a cotton mitten glove, and I think it would probably be worth noting that these would be most useful before your baby has discovered their hands and started to really suck on them and stuff, because I think that this fabric would get quite wet when it is being mouthed. It's not like the munch mitt thing with the bumpy silicone. It's just cotton. I don't tend to put mittens on my babies, like in terms of scratch mittens, because I feel like it does take away some of that sensory feeling. But if you're putting this on for a brief period for some playtime, And again, it's something that is very light and portable to take out and about with you. And you've got a little welcome note because this is the first kit in the Lovevery series, and that is the founder, Jess Rodoff, and her family, and a little bit about the Lovevery story. Again, you can find all that information on their website or on their social media. And as I said before, all of the Lovevery kits come with a play guide. When I imported my kits from the US, my play guides were a little bit damaged. However, clearly they're benefiting from shipping more locally because the ones I've gotten this time around have been pristine. So you've got some information about your baby's developmental age, ways that you can engage, some advice for parents, and a lot of reassurance, because I know that you can take a lot of things on as a parent, especially if this was your first baby and you're approaching that really steep learning curve. You've got lots of ideas for the use of the items in the play kit, but also ideas for above and beyond. And again, even like addressing sleep and stuff. It's worth noting that many of the items will go beyond the time frame that's listed on the box. So as much as this might say weeks 0 to 12, these sensory links are possibly going to stay on your pram until your baby is, well over a year old. It is not as though I'm going to automatically put all these items back in the box once he reaches the adjusted age of 12 weeks. There are a lot of things here that are going to have a much longer life, and the quality of the items means that they will easily last for multiple children. So particularly if you are having your first baby, I would say that the Lovevery kits are a wonderful place to start if you are looking at implementing the Montessori philosophy in your home. So after a year, how have these items held up? Well, our spinning mobile that hung above the change table was a hit. That lasted almost the whole year before we moved that upstairs change table and put it away. And that was loved well and truly, and did help with distraction during nappy changes. The contrast cards in the little stand-up display frame worked really well. I did find that the storage pocket on the back was quite small, so if you put the extra cards in there to store them, they did get a bit bent. So that was slightly disappointing, but otherwise really fantastic and excellent for use at the table. The chewy black and white teether with the jingly ball was another favourite. Lincoln's been my worst teether by a mile, and that one was one he really liked to rub on his gums. The little black and white book we didn't end up using a whole lot. I would pack it when we went out, but I just didn't find myself reaching for it very often. The pram toy, I guess I'll call it, that was disappointing. I love this toy so much, but I found that it just came apart too easily. The Velcro tabs didn't hold, and the end pieces, the curly S-hooks, slipped out so that we actually lost one of them really quickly, which was a shame. It still is actually on our pram, and when it's in use, he still loves it, but I wish it had held together a little bit better. You'll notice that I actually don't have any footage here of the black and white mittens, and that's because we didn't end up using them at all. I forgot all about them. They weren't something I thought of to reach for because I think they require a bit more parent involvement. In a way, there's not as much free play opportunity. All in all, we did find that these items provided a great deal of engagement for Lincoln during the allotted time period, but most of them have lasted well beyond that. And even after heavy use for a number of months, they are still in fantastic condition, and we can't wait to use them for our next bub. Thank you so much for joining me for another video, and I'll see you again soon.